Right. Today we're going to start off with this tab prepare. What we're going to do today is basically learn how to clean an Excel file using Tableau prep as well as to pivot a data in a Excel file. Right. So to begin with, we're going to learn how to open a file from Excel. Right. So to open a to connect to the data, right? So we first choose Excel. Right. Then we move on to the files that we want to look at is book catalog. So once you open it, you'll notice that the data itself has got some error, which need data cleaning, uh, which requires data cleaning. So once the data is open, right, you will be able to see a book catalog, right? So here are some of the tables, the data type, right, etc. And we're going to begin off with cleaning the data. So there are some data that is not very nice. So there's, you notice there's a plus sign. So click on the plus, and there's actually a clean step. Right? See whether we can zoom in. That's the clean step over here. Yes, then go ahead and clean it. Hey, what are you here today? I'm always in the morning. Sorry. So you can see some of this number of occurrence at the table here, and here you can see some of the data is not very clean, right? So we need to kind of clean it up. So let's take a look at the stock status first. By looking at the stock status, you can see that the people are filling in with different value data, available, not available, but all with some spelling error. So we need to fix it. So how do we fix it? First, we click on this, right? And we right click, I think, and there's a group. Sorry, please. Okay, there's some group menu selections. Right, so you get that table coming up, and you can choose the available. Right, once you choose the available, you can then try to group this available. Right, so which means that if the keywords is AV, it's also under, it will fall under available, right? So these two will fall under available. So you can see that kind of cleanup. So when there's an occurrence of these two, it will be assigned to this value. Right? So moving on, you can choose the data that you want to keep. So this is the words that you want to keep. So you click on this. Again, this relate to this. So this is equivalent to NA and this. So any three of these, you notice that everything is sweet, nice, done now. Right, so once it's done, you can just click done. Right, another one that so we have kind of fixed up the available and non-available. So you can see that they are all just all clean up. And let's choose available. Then you only see the available, so there's no messy. So let's take a look at other category group. Now we move on to look at this, and you notice there's similarly in under the category, the early and middle. Okay, there are some spelling errors. So we also want to fix that. So again, to fix it, we right click, click on the column and right click, and we can go to group, and there's a spelling. Okay, so we can move on to the spelling. So automatically they have the variance. Right, so you can click on to rectify early and middle. So these are the automatically is able to find out what's the correct spelling and then group them together nicely. So that's kind of cool. So just to verify that the grouping is correct, then you can move on. I think you can look at the hardcover core frictions. I think it should be okay. Okay, the other one that you can take a look is the you can fix right the sliding. Okay, so the hardcover frictions, this right, so you can actually reduce the sensitivity by putting to minus here. Right, so that kind of reduce the sensitivity, so any slight error doesn't matter. Now let's do other things. If we have ungroup and spelling error is wrong. Okay. So another one that we can look at is the youth, young adult. Okay, young adult. So let's check out the young adult. So young adult seems to be okay, but you might want to group YA, right? So YA as young adult as well. So we click on this, so you can see the YA gone. So that will be fine. So so if you are okay, you can save it as done, and you can look at author. So the next one is looking at author columns, and let's try to fix John Christmas. See where's John Christmas. John Christmas. So we try to look for. Okay, we try to look for this and choose a group value to replace common characters. So choose on the common characters. So is there any? So by looking at this, you can see some of the group, right? So let's check out the John. Is there any John? Okay, so that's one here. So uh, so there's actually two. Right? You notice if you click on this, you notice that's actually these are actually representing the same name, but just that uh, one is in front, one is below. Right? So you can try to fix it by switching around. Right? So one way is let me see. You can do the fix it. If you want, you can just manually fix it. But edit the value, and you can switch it around so that you make it consistent. So one way is let's just switch this around. Okay, so you kind of solve that problem. And there's also another one, which is the owner's seat. Sorry, I'm trying to look for the data. Okay, here, right? So you can see there's actually a variance. Again, you can go ahead and try to recorrect, edit the value. So giving it OK， 好，第一次看到我在做工。
你在做什么新的？
Oops, I'm recording a workshop. Sorry guys, you all can ignore my conversation later. So once that's done, you can just click done deal, and move on to the rest. So now we move on to do data cleansing. So again, we can investigate on this ISBM. Right? So you notice we want to do trimming. Right? So the cleaning function we can use is we want to take away the letters in front and trim some space. So how do we do it? Again, just click on this, and there's a cleaning function, right? And you can remove the letters. And for one, I think you can just remove the letters, all the letters gone, right? And just want to check if there's any space in front or behind. You can also do a trim the spaces. So now there's some touch up. After that, you want to do a output. So you can click on this to save your work. Right, so this is the output, and you can specify the place you want to save. Okay, so you can specify you want the CSV file and the output. Okay, for let's say let's just can browse around and put Lab3. So sorry, you have to use this. Change the name. Right, Lab. You just put Lab3. Press that, and you can run the flow. Okay, so move to text files, and now we're going to move on to pivot. To do a pivot, so we're going to open another connections. You can use this to open an Excel. We wait for the connection to be up, and we can take a look at the data for this. Right, so let's start with a pivot. So what you can do is the add sign over here. You can right click. That's a add pivot. Sorry, not right click. Just click on this. That's a pivot. Add pivot. So in the pivot, you can see the rank early. This is what we've seen earlier. Sorry, make sure you click. Okay, good. Right, so what we do is we choose the tables. Every one of them, and then drag it over to this pivot view. So you have two new columns, which is the pivot name and the pivot value. Right? So you can rename this thing by changing the field name. Right? So let's try to change the field names. You put
Yeah, I just VA2002 Karina 是吗？因为那天被我跟他的看嘛，
info.
被我跟他的看。哦，所以你是他的 CC 嘛？对啊，所以我就刚刚看到可能也不酸呀，我觉得也呀，可能不错的。我们就采了一个，所以based on mass 啊。Based on mass 是怎么回的 ？Based on mass 的 update 看到它是去哦。还有就是客人啊，我现在就走了好几个。问题是你要米不也要有问题，觉得可能连粉都没有。你看外面的 market 很好。那这个又不是把我们当菜。
Okay, so we're going to do output. So we're going to do output. And we choose comma delimiter format. Goes to this Lab3 output tool. Once you are happy, you can actually run it and submit. And done. Right, so what you can do is go ahead and try to open that. But let me just open and try to save it to another lab output. Okay, you can try to solve. Coming back to this, we'll see. This is not the final. We can actually remove the output, right? And then we can go ahead and add some more. And let's select the cleaner steps. So we notice there's some null value, some null under the info. Right. So there's some, just check something. So it's not that clean because there's some null value. So we want to clean it so you can actually exclude it. When you click on some null, this is the null. When you notice that some erratic numbers. You can choose to exclude it. So now we want to partition the value into info column separate individual, customize, right click on that. Right. So now we separate them by the division. Okay, right click. Split value based on custom split. Use a separator that is using this. Right. Separator and see how when we are trying to separate the straight line, so we put in a straight line and one off, and you can just split off. Okay, so they just split them. These are all split properly. What you can do is you can change the title. You can change the title. Change the title. Rename the field. Split number 2 is author. So you can just go ahead and change the author. Okay. Once, then you can choose the rest. Now, as we have already split the row, we can go ahead and remove the column. Right, so as we've already split them, we can go ahead and remove this by clicking on this to remove. So it's gone. Right, to save the work so far, we have to output the file. So we'll click on the output. Output to a CSV file. And we can choose the folder that we want to save, which is the video. And click the run flow. It's done.